Okay, my name is Eileen West, and how I became a Sounders supporter. I think it kind of starts out when I started growing up. I started playing soccer when I was 3. I played up 2 years because my mom coached my sister's team, and I was good enough to play on my sister's team. Plus, she didn't know what else to do with me. So I started playing when I was 3, and I played up 2 years for a long time, actually. I got into select soccer, Olympic development. I was really into soccer. I played high school as well as select soccer up through my junior year of high school. In my junior year, I started to get burnt out. And my select soccer coach, I played for Crossfire way back when, before it's the big conglomerate it is now. I was actually on the very first girls Crossfire select team that existed. And my select soccer coach noticed that I was injured a lot on the weekends, but yet he saw me playing in my high school games. So we kind of noticed something was going on there. And then after my junior year in high school, I actually skipped my senior year and went on to college, and I had eligibility to come back and play high school. But a huge part of what happened there was that one of my soccer teammates was killed in an auto accident on 520 right before our prom time. And that really emotionally affected me. Not only was I also, just a lot of injuries. So I decided actually not to go back and play. And I sort of fell out of love with soccer at that time. So the '94 World Cup, I didn't pay much attention to it. I was in college, having more of a social life than I'd had in high school because I was really active in my sports and played soccer 7 days a week. So when the Sounders came back or started in 2009, I heard nothing because I had not been paying any attention to soccer at that time. And just so happened that I work for the Attorney General's office, and one of the attorneys is from England, and he decided to organize a group buy from our office for the opening night game. I had heard nothing, no media, no anything, had no knowledge of it. But I said to my mom, hey, I bought us tickets. We're going to go to the Sounders game, check it out, see what happens. And of course, that first game was just made me fall back in love with soccer again. And very different being a supporter versus being someone who's playing. But it just reignited our passion. We kept going to games, picking different places in the stadium to check out and see the game from. We just kept buying tickets for every home game. And then about halfway through the season, we ended up buying a halfway season ticket package and ended up in the section right above the ECS. And we were, taking, like, my grandmother was living with us at the time, so we were taking her to games, and it just kind of blossomed from there, basically. I love going. I've been going with my mom since, the first year. And about 2012 is where we sort of started to get the travel bug, to branch out beyond the Cascadia Cup matches. She booked a trip by herself. I was very mad at her, to go to the Open Cup in Kansas City, and then called me on her way back from Salt Lake and said, let's drive to San Jose this weekend. And we literally drove to the Sounders match in San Jose, left Friday as soon as I got off work, and got back Sunday night. And I went to work or somewhere in the morning Sunday, and I went to work the next day. But that started my just passion for traveling and seeing the Sounders outside of just in the stadium, which I love the in-stadium experience. But at the same time, there's just something about being in a group of people outside of our home stadium and affecting the support for them and letting them know that they hear you and feel you when they're away from home. And I've just loved meeting all these people from all over the place, like my sister in Atlanta, who don't get to see every match. So for them, it's humongous to be able to see one match, 2 matches somewhere in the vicinity of where they live. So I started about in 2012 to go, venture, and then Grandma and I basically just started picking matches, and then just kept going to different away matches, and I think we ended up going to like 13 matches one year. And during that time, someone who was, a travel monkey said, "Hey, would you be interested? You obviously like to travel. Would you be interested in doing some of the organization of being a travel monkey and be in charge?" And I was like, that would be great, because I wasn't really sure what, I'd done some TiVo stuff, I'd done some other things, but I wasn't really sure where I could find my niche within the supporter group. But because that kind of mixes all my love of traveling and whatnot with seeing the Sounders and then seeing different places. Basically my goal is to eventually hit every stadium or every away match. I obviously prioritize and kind of look at what the schedule comes out and to see how it falls and what I can afford to do. So there's a huge group of us, actually. I think there's maybe about 8 to 10 of us now. What we do is we're the behind the scenes. The simple part for somebody who's not there is you can go to the ECS website, whether you're a ECS member or not, and purchase a ticket for an away match. And we do all of the organizing with the other the visiting team, their FOs or their, and make sure that everything is, kosher, that we have, safety plans in place, for on our way in, on our way out. We organize if there's buses that need to be organized. We do a lot of the back end, behind the scenes stuff. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun too at the same time. I really enjoyed a lot of, I don't think there's an away trip I haven't enjoyed. So part of the away trips too has been very fun, just randomly throwing together people you don't even know that well, and getting to know them as you drive, 13 hours to Salt Lake and back. That's what I love, is love seeing all the different people, coming together for the same common purpose, to support the Sounders. So.